Happy Friday, Tribe. Today I'm really excited to bring you some information about our tumbling classes and how they're run. We run 3 different segments or blocks of our tumbling class program every single year, and they're 4-month blocks. The first block from September to December, we do a very technique-focused block. From January to April, we do a block that's really focused on kind of skill progress and getting those new skills. We know the 8 months before it are really going to slingshot those skills to success. They've been doing drills, they've been conditioning their bodies, they've been improving the quality of the skill prior to the skill they're working on. So that January to April block is always a great time where we see tons of athletes getting new skills and new confident skills as we lead into the team placement season. And then lastly, and the one that we're going to hit on today, is our middle block, which goes from May to August during the summer months, where we're really focused on repetition, conditioning, and flexibility of skills. So all of the blocks kind of follow different points in our season at Tribe for our elite teams and our athletes. And each of the blocks has a different purpose. During the summer, we're really building this conditioning up. So as we get into the fall and we begin doing full outs and full run-throughs with their routines, their bodies are conditioned, the skills that are going to be in those routines are conditioned before we get into the technical part of the season, where we're starting to be judged by judges at competitions, and we're looking to really hone in on perfect technique. And then again, in the early months of the year, January through April, we're seeing those skills kind of come through and shine and earn that next skill. So today we're going to hit on block 2, which is May through August. Okay, so I think it's also important to give a big birthday shout out to my business partner, Zach Flaherty. Happy birthday, buddy. All of Tribe hopes you're having an awesome day. I know you are. We'll see you tonight. Get ready to party. Happy birthday, buddy. Okay, so diving right into this tumbling, we do separate the training from our different levels of tumbling a little bit. So the beginning tumbling classes do follow a little bit different structure than, say, the intermediate or all levels. So our beginning tumbling class, during this block from May to August, they're going to spend about 35 minutes per class working on what we consider warm-up and line drills. So really learning body basics, feeling those correct shapes, and kind of learning to do little tiny pieces of their tumbling perfect. Once they've completed some of those body basics and shapes and maybe even some drills throughout those lines for different skills that they're going to be learning in beginning tumbling, they spend about 15 minutes stretching. So flexibility is so important in tumbling, especially at the early levels. In bridges, the back and shoulder flexibility, there's splits for back walkovers and front walkovers and limbers, and just having that flexibility to be able to do skills later successfully. So we spend about 15 minutes in the beginner class on that flexibility. And then the last 5 minutes, we try to incorporate some fun conditioning, get them used to the conditioning and muscular aspect of being a tumbler, being a cheerleader. So we do, even within our beginning tumbling classes, do some really fun conditioning. For our intermediate and all levels, we do a very similar structure between those two. So from May to August, again, that focus is really on skill repetition, conditioning, and flexibility. So the first 20 minutes of our intermediate and all levels classes are a line drill warm-up, very similar to other parts of our year. We do a dynamic stretch, run some laps, do some arm circles, do some lunges, do some leg kicks, and really just get the athlete's body and muscles ready to go for the day. We get into some handstand work. All of our kids, whether they're a beginning tumbler or one of our elite tumbling athletes, everybody does handstands in every single class, and that's because we know that we're going to see that body shape in a lot of different skills throughout their tumbling career. So whether that be in a back handspring or in a back walkover, all the way up through a layout or double full, we're going to see those shapes. So they do a lot of shaping drills and repetition through those line drills to get their body warmed up, as well as hone in and really let their muscles memorize the right shape to be in. After they're done warming up, in this particular block, we spend about 10 minutes with a stretch to help their flexibility. We work a lot on shoulders, lower back, and legs, and really just try to take them a little bit further during these 4 months in their flexibility. So something as athletes get older, a lot of times it's hard to maintain as they gain muscle because they are working hard and they're doing their tumbling or they're on a team and they're stunting. We need to keep those muscles loose and relaxed and stretched out. So we spend about 10 minutes on flexibility as well as a little bit of strength, focusing on leg strength, core strength, whether that be abdominal, lower back, really trying to just round the athlete's body out to make sure there's no muscular deficiencies so they can perform at peak shape. After we're finished with the flexibility and strength, this is where during this block we really just hone in on repetition. We help the athletes realize that if they can do maybe a standing 3 back handstrings better, if they can make that skill that maybe they just got placed on a level 3 team and they have a standing 3 back handstrings. If they can make that standing 3 better, faster, stronger, straighter, more technical, but also better conditioned, as we get into the next block and they start doing drills for, say, a standing 2 to tuck, they're going to be really propelled forward by that conditioning and good technique that they have. So we try to help all the athletes as well as the parents and our staff understand that the most important part of this block is realizing that while we might be doing skills that you have already over and over, by doing those skills over and over, you're actually working towards and working more efficiently towards your next skill. So I know a couple of examples I'll put on the screen. These are examples we use directly with our staff. But we have examples of different, instances where we want to help the athlete know that undoubtedly they are going to be working towards those higher level skills by increasing their efficiency and conditioning on their current skills. So the first example I have on the screen here, if they're working on speeding up their round off 3 back handstrings, correcting their shapes, their feet and knee angles are going to undoubtedly make their round off back hamstring tuck better without even really working on the tuck. So we want to, let our athletes and families know that for them, they are working on their tuck by improving their 3 back handstrings. It is going to make a difference and it is going to make it better. The second example here, improving quality, height, takeoff angle, arm placement, and shapes during a round off back hamstring back tuck will undoubtedly improve the athlete's layout without even working on it. But again, we tell the athletes and explain to the athletes that you are working on your layout by improving the previous skill, that tuck. So the higher a tuck is, the easier we can pull that layout shape. The third example on the screen is just that improving leg straightness, muscle control, head placement, arm placement, pointed toes, and shoulder strength in your back walkovers is undoubtedly going to improve the athlete's back hamstring. So if we see athletes with bent legs in their back hamstrings, a lot of times when they go to do their back walkover, their legs are also bent. And some of that comes down to technique, and maybe they skip steps or rush to get to their back walkover. Perhaps they have a little bit of a muscle deficiency in their glutes and hamstrings, the muscles on the back of their legs. So we tried during this session to really put a lot of emphasis on building those leg muscles that are a little underutilized, so they can know they have the confidence to keep those legs straight in their back walkover, which in turn in their level 2 skills are going to help those be straight. So again, it's for us and our staff, it's about helping the athlete as well as the parent know that we are helping their next skill by making their current skill better. It's building a really, really solid foundation and taking our time to make sure that foundation of the previous skill is exact and it's beautiful. So the next thing we stack on top of that foundation isn't going to cause the foundation to crumble. So that's where we spend a lot of our time in this block. For 25 minutes or about half the class we're spending on skill repetition. In between the station work with that, we may have them do some conditioning, things like squat jumps or core work, abs, sit-ups, planks, hollow body holds, different things to really help them just continue to build their muscular stamina as well, and really prepare for the fall, like I said earlier, to be ready to put these skills in full run through. So you aren't going to see as many maybe new skill videos in the upcoming weeks. I'm sure we're still going to have athletes rocking and rolling through new skills in tumbling class and in private lessons. But our focus in the tumbling class program right now is to really help our athletes feel very confident. You know, some of our athletes maybe just went up a level. Maybe they were on a level 2 last year and they're on a level 3 this year, or they were on a level 1 last year and they're on a level 2 now. So it's really important this time of year for us as coaches on teams as well as in tumbling that we're gaining a very, very high proficiency and confidence level in their tumbling skills that are going to be put in these routines. So that's all I have for this Friday. We're excited. I want to share just a couple things we have coming up in the upcoming weeks. We are going to do a Friday segment on some great nutrition tips for athletes. A good friend of mine, Ryan Irwin's going to join us, and we're going to talk all things nutrition for athletes and young athletes, and just what they're putting in their body, and really making sure that our athletes are eating enough because they burn so many calories at practice. We have a lot of other great things in store. We're going to get back to our Meet the Staff, so you're going to get to know some of our staff a little bit better. We're going to do a segment on how we design our uniform, so I think that's going to be a really fun segment for everybody to see. We're also going to talk a little bit about our junior coaching program, so you're going to see some junior coaches in some of the different classes within the program, which is going to be an amazing opportunity for athletes that our younger athletes look up to actually have an experience, and a connection with those older athletes. So those are some of the things we have coming up. We're excited to keep the kids moving and tumbling. Welcome to season 7, and we will see you next week.